Hi guys! So some of you might have noticed in my last video that I have a new background. Wherever I go when I travel, I really like to pick out postcards from different places. I've always envisioned this idea of, when I have enough postcards, doing a postcard wall. So just decking out an entire wall with all of my postcards as a sort of travel memento. And now I've decided that I think I have enough postcards where I can start it. So today what I thought I'd do is give you guys a little postcard wall tour and sort of walk through the different places that I've been. Obviously these are not all the places that I've been, these are just the ones that I actually picked out postcards from. Anyway, I have them somewhat in chronological order, because you know, this is me we're talking about. So at the bottom are the ones that are a little bit older from older vacations, and then it sort of gets newer for the most part as you go up. So I'm going to start at the top with some of the newest ones. At the very top, I have 3 from Edinburgh in Scotland. Of course, I had to pick on castles because you guys know I love castles. And the first one is the Edinburgh Castle. It's a really, really pretty shot. There's so much green, of course, because of Scotland. I had to pick out ones that had lots of green. The next one to it is even greener, and that's of the Scott Monument and Princess St. Gardens. And I think it just kind of captured the essence of Scotland to me, because you have all of the trees and all of the nature, and then the buildings and the castles, and that basically sums up what I think of when I think of Edinburgh. The third one that I have of Edinburgh is one with 4 different shots, and these types of postcards I really like because even if I don't see all of the pictures shown on the postcard, it kind of gives you an idea of the highlights of the place, and normally I do actually try to see most of those places that are monumental enough to put on the postcards. It actually kind of looks like something I would do on Instagram now. I make these all the time. Next we have another 3 from Oxford in England. The first one is another one that's a collage. It just shows the different old buildings and the beautiful, beautiful structures. It kind of has that dreamy step back in time type of feel, which is what I think of when I think of Oxford. The next Oxford postcard is really cool because all of the colors in all of these pictures are completely different from most of my other postcards. It has this kind of orange peach feel to it. Up in the top right corner, you have a beautiful library, and you guys know I'm a sucker for libraries. I love books, I love libraries. The sunlight in each of these pictures is so perfect, and the way that they've colorized everything, it's one of my favorite postcards. The last Oxford postcard that I bought was one that's much simpler, just one picture. It's just a really pretty shot. It's simple, I liked it to go with the other ones. They have more pictures, more style to them maybe, and this one was just, here's what it is. Next, along the wall, we're going to venture over to Ireland. When I went here, I unfortunately only got to see Dublin, and I know that's not really representative of Ireland. So when I bought postcards, I specifically picked one out that kind of has the old Ireland type of feel. Rather than the big city, which is cool, I wanted one that also had the rural aspects of it. So I didn't actually get to see anything that's on this postcard, which is kind of a shame because in the bottom right corner, I really would love to see those bluffs. It looks gorgeous. The next postcard is of Dublin, so this is actually what I got to see when I was in Ireland. This postcard is really, really busy. There's no way I saw all these things because I only spent a couple of days in Dublin. But it really reflects what I felt when I was in the city. It's really busy, there's a lot of people, there's a lot of things, buildings, etc., like a city. And finally, my third Irish one is one of Oscar Wilde. Wilde is one of my favorite authors, so when I went there, I saw the statue of him. It's very famous, you can look it up. And when I went to pick up postcards, I found this one, and honestly, it's probably not the prettiest postcard. It looks a little odd on my wall along with the other ones, but it has just a bunch of quotations from Oscar Wilde from his different works. Right below that one, I have this gigantic thing, and this I got from Bath. This is a letter that Jane Austen wrote to Cassandra. I haven't read the letter. I don't think the words are actually the important part of the postcard. What's really nice is it's just Jane Austen's handwriting, which is beautiful. It has the old-fashioned parchment tone to it. Next, I have a few from Paris. The first one is just a classic shot of the Eiffel Tower. I absolutely love the colorations of this. When I saw this one, I knew this was definitely going to be one of the 3 that I bought. I love the contrast. I love how it highlights the tower and the red car. Despite the fact that pictures of the Eiffel Tower are really cliche, they're everywhere. It's really, really hard to find one that's new and inventive. This one is one of my favorite postcards by far. The next one is the very famous bridge in Paris, Le Pont des Arts. I'm very, very sad to read that they're actually going to have to take all the locks off of the bridge because of safety concerns. There's something just really romantic about the bridge, not in the way of, you know, let's clip this metal thing on the bridge to symbolize our eternal love, but just the scenery, where the bridge is located, what you see when you're there, and kind of the feeling you get when you see all of the locks on the bridge and you realize how many couples in love there are in the world. It's beautiful. And right below that one, I have my third Paris one, and this one is not quite as pretty as the other ones. I did think about it a little longer before I chose it. But again, I love the postcards that have different pictures of the different things that you can find. And in this one, all these 6 places I actually did get to see in Paris, so I had to choose it, of course. Right next to the Paris ones is the only postcard that I got when I was in central France. I saw a lot of castles when I was there, but this one was definitely my favorite. This is a beautiful sky view of the castle and all of the forest that just surrounds it. In the left corner you have a little fleur-de-lis, and then in the other corner you have You Say the Name. For this one I really don't have that much to say because honestly the postcard says it all. Next, a couple more from England. These are from the Shakespeare Globe. This one I also have a bigger version as a poster on my wall. It's the stage of the remodeled Globe itself. This was reconstructed to look like the original Shakespeare Globe that he actually performed in. It's not, unfortunately. That one has been destroyed a few times. But as accurately as historians and architects can get it, this is what Shakespeare performed in. And I have this one of Bristol, which is of the Bristol Cathedral. Maybe in comparison to Westminster or something, this cathedral was really not super impressive. It was kind of tiny, but it was about 2 minutes from where I lived. It was the first really old cathedral that I ever set foot in, and definitely one of my favorite memories from Bristol. Going back a little further in time, you have a couple from Barcelona over here. I went to Barcelona in 2012, I believe. This one is another that has multiple different places in Barcelona, and next to that, another somewhat generic Barcelona one. The title of this postcard on the back is actually Diversos Aspectos, diverse aspects. Not super specific there, but it's still pretty. Over here is a lone one that I got from Texas. I've actually been to Texas twice, but this I think is the only postcard. It's the only one I found anyway. This is Presidio La Bahia in Goliad, Texas. Below that one I have maybe my only local postcard. This is the Cathedral Basilica of St. Louis. Really, it does not do the building justice, but it's really hard to take pictures inside that building because it's so filled with mosaics. The colors really just don't turn out well in picture. You just have to go visit it if you really want to get the feel of the building. Even further back in time, we go to Puerto Rico. This is Castillo San Cristobal in Old San Juan. Next to that, we have Fort San Felipe del Morro, which is again in Puerto Rico. This postcard shows a few different views, and they're sort of molded together. It's actually a little bit old-fashioned looking, which is kind of appropriate since I got it several years ago now. At the very bottom here, we have another one of Old San Juan in Puerto Rico. This is a night view, and again, I just thought it was really pretty when I picked it out. And also at the bottom here, we have two postcards of this really cute little frog, El Coqui. And that frog is only found in Puerto Rico. It's very symbolic. The coqui frog gets its cute little name from the sound that it actually makes. And my last two postcards on my postcard wall are from Niagara Falls. Several years ago, I got to go and I saw the US side of Niagara Falls and the Canadian side, the only time I've been to Canada actually. These two postcards are pretty simple, it's just the falls themselves. Not even these pictures do it really justice, and that is saying something. And that's it, those are the postcards that I have right now on my postcard wall. And I fully intend to add more to this wall as I travel more, as I get more postcards. So maybe eventually this will actually cover an entire wall. Thank you guys so much for watching, and let me know in the comments what is your favorite postcard on my postcard wall, and is there something that you always like to get when you travel someplace to remember? I hope you guys all enjoyed this video, and I will see you in my next one soon.